Above all nations, a brand rooted with our heritage in mind. Featuring the Babylon Has Fallen hoodie, this mighty piece is a bold statement describing the times we're living in. Also perfect for keeping warm while standing firm in your faith. You won't be able to miss the vibrant Song of Solomon tee, inspired by Song of Solomon 1 and 10, a piece that represents our royal heritage that the Most High gave us. Head over to aboveallnations.shop to grab yours now. They're moving fast. That's aboveallnations.shop. Kwame Yashrala.
I hope y'all like that. That was Supplication by Roy the Chef. It's dangerous out here. I hope you guys make it home safe.
Why is she eating? She just like, yeah, they just say, she into astrology. Nah, she just say eating for us. She's just crazy. Yeah, like he's saying. Yo, check it out. You ain't worry about that. They're going to show you at the end. So that was that a knocking out?
Yo, what was that about? Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
Oh man, what the fuck going on, Scooter?
Soldier Yatham. Siren 2. Let's get it. When you bought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trusted Yah was misled in our past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no tale bearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery. Get thee behind me, Satan. I can't deal with my brother false. Get thee behind me, Satan. Seem like a never end the war between flesh and the spirit. I heard that voice say this the way I pray my Lord was hear it. I'm treating sin like it got cooties, don't wanna get near it. If not pertaining to the Father, I'm sorry, I'm fearless. Won't take a left turn all right when it's a narrow path. You keep the law, you get the kingdom, I can simple math. Boast in your house all day on Hamashiach's behalf. Deny the mark of the beast, so drink from the cup of wrath. Keep your spirit pure, practice on fasting and praying. You will say you must multiply your faith and your patience. Love thy neighbor as thyself, don't never betray me. And if you're tempted, pray and say, get thee behind me, Satan. When you bought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trusted Yah was misled in our past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no tale bearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery. Get thee behind me, Satan. I can't deal with my brother false. Get thee behind me, Satan.
I'ma do your how I laws, I got my faculties. And every single precept make my point to value these. Example, humble me, I'm grounded like what gravel be. We law about in any shirt with fringes, that's my casualty. Revelation say the savior color copper be our own. Ancient kind, but front them crackers copper please. Fall balance abomination to God, so now obviously give you fair warning, don't try that angle, that's our size of lead. Off the muscle, not one to just watch it suffer. Don't be respect of persons, any wise rebuke your brother. Prepare myself for tribulations, that which worketh patience. No thinking about being grimy, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan.
When you bought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trusted Yah was misled in our past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no tale bearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery. Get thee behind me, Satan. I can't deal with my brother false. Get thee behind me, Satan.
Eat money.
Yeah. All of my sins take away from me. Save me from myself, save a place for me. Help me keep your laws, keep them faithfully. And Father, even if I fall, make a way for me. Yeah, all of my sins take away from me. Save me from myself, save a place for me. Help me keep your laws, keep them faithfully. And Father, even if I fall, make a way for me. Yeah, keep me in the palm of your mighty hands. Father, don't let me fall. False excuses, know you heard them all. Could've ignored me, but you heard my call. And you refused to let your servant fall. You know that really keep on calling. Every now and then I get withdrawals. Man, they hit different when your sister center of it all. Have you forget about that time you violated laws? And you needed Abba to forgive you, he forgave it all. That's why I pray that you remember me for memories that made you smile and not the ones that made you judge the least. Father, I pray that when you raise up out that judgment seat, that you see it fit for me to reign with you above the beast. But at the least, all of my sins take away from me. Save me from myself, save a place for me. Help me keep your laws, keep them faithfully. And Father, even if I fall, make a way for me. Yeah, all of my sins take away from me. Save me from myself, save a place for me. Help me keep your laws, keep them faithfully. And Father, even if I fall, make a way for me. Yeah, even if I fall, I know he in charge. The great shepherd of the sheep, I know he hear my voice. He gave me life or death for real, I don't deserve a choice. Took all of those things that was against me, then he made it void. I said, yeah, how was shine? Follow me down these wicked roads, don't let that drama slide. Cause it's been written on them scrolls right when they prophesied. And it don't matter how it goes, you never left my side. Even though I should've died. Why? But your grace is sufficient. Look how you took my wicked mind and then replaced what's missing. Look how you took my spirit blind and then you gave me vision. Even though I was out of line, I refused to listen. You gave me wisdom. That's why all of my sins take away from me. Save me from myself, save a place for me. Help me keep your laws, keep them faithfully. And Father, even if I fall, make a way for me. Yeah, all of my sins take away from me. Save me from myself, save a place for me. Help me keep your laws, keep them faithfully. And Father, even if I fall, make a way for me. Yeah.
When you bought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trusted Yah and was misled in our past generations? No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no talebearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Yasha Allah, Shah Shabbat. Another episode of the Bar4Bar. You see the title, A Woman's Kryptonite. We're going to get into some heavy topics concerning our sisters. We did the boys to men class, and now it's time to speak to our sisters. So we would love the input, the comments of our sisters, because they go through things and they have emotions that they deal with, obviously, that men usually or may not understand. So, your comments are welcome here. Obviously, don't say nothing personal in the chat, but we do encourage, the comments to give some of that input as long as it's in order, right? Got a lot of announcements. So let's knock some of these out real quick. First and foremost, we got the new moon coming up. It's on the 28th at even, the first new moon, right? This is our new year, not January 1st in the dead of the cold winter, but we starting it in the spring, our new year. So the first new moon, right, March 28th, 7:45 sharp. I think that's a Thursday at even, right? Thursday at even. Make sure you RSVP if you want to attend that in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Also, we got the calendar, right? Obviously, we got through the Nicanor, we got through the beautiful Feast of Purim, but now it's time for the Passover season. it's time for the Passover season, right? So now it's Passover now. We got what? Less than what? 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks maybe? Right? So 2.5 weeks to the glorious Passover, right? So make sure starting to stop. I would probably stop buying leaven at this time. If it's time to, if you go grocery shopping once a month, however you do it, I would probably slow down on the buying of the leaven. And then obviously you're getting the leaven out of your spirit already. You should be doing that. You should have been did that, right? Stop waiting to Passover, right? To say how you want to get the leaven out of your spirit. Now it don't work that way. If you wait to Passover, you're just gonna go back and relapse again. That's how it goes, right? So remember, we in this mindset, even though it's the Passover season, meaning springtime, it's not the season, it's the mindset, right? We still in that wave of things, right? So make sure you're getting all the leaven out of your house. Make sure you preparing for the Passover, especially for the brothers and sisters that's traveling, so you don't have to come back and worry about any of that, right? So Passover is coming up. Our colors are emerald green and gold. We got the event already. We got a lot of things for brothers and sisters, man. We got the Pillars of Rest event right that Saturday after. We obviously going to have camp that Saturday at around 12 o'clock. So make sure you're there in attendance, man. It's going to be a glorious weekend full of brotherhood and sisterhood. Like the elder always say, brotherhood and that sisterhood, that's the final chamber, man. There's no other way. If we get that down pat, I feel like we much closer to getting up out of here, right? Spirit of the Lord, right? So let me play this real quick. Pillars of Rest. All right, let's play this real quick.
Shalom. When brotherhood and sisterhood unite, game night gets even better. Join us for friendly competition, good vibes, and unforgettable memories. Shalom.
Shalom, people. Hey, game night's going to be lit. We're going to have individual and group games, bouncy house for the kids. We're going to have a photo spot so we can take pictures and have memories. We're even going to have a taco bar, y'all. I even heard that we're going to give away free prizes, so see you there.
All praises, right? So we got that glorious event going on. Also tonight, too. Hold on, let me put this on the screen real quick. Tonight, 7:45, man. Hold on, let me put this on the screen real quick. Make sure you tap in, man, the IDC grand opening. Let me send the link, man. Let me put the link in the chat. Y'all remind me that we've got to do a commercial break on this real quick. Right? In the middle of the class. Let me put that link in the chat. Right. The IDC grand opening featuring Roe the Chef, man, with the giveaways. Right. I don't know how Roe, I'm still trying to figure out how Roe, if he in here, how Roe got his own line, bucket hat. I don't know how he did that. However, right, all praises to the Lord, man. Right. So make sure you in attendance for that 7:45, man. We're going to be in there, turned up, music in the background, brotherhood, sisterhood, fellowship, and man, everybody come to the stage, man, just to have a good time, after the Shabbat, right? So make sure you're in attendance of that 7:45 tonight. We'll be that with the Adawanyam and Roe the Chef, man. So make sure you in attendance for that. Mm-hmm. And let's get right into it. Right, we got a lot of heat, we got a lot of videos, a lot of information we want to get out. So let me put this on the screen again. Y'all see that, right? A woman's kryptonite for my sisters, right? Usually classes like this, we was talking about it earlier with the Akim. Usually classes like this, it's not a lot of women in these classes, right? They don't want to be rebuked, right? They say we get on them too much. We're too mean. We're too forward with them when half of our classes are geared toward the men getting right. 99%, I think, of the classes are geared toward the men getting right. However, we got to identify how our women have to get right. And that's what this class is going to be geared about. So we're going to open possibly some old wounds for some sisters, right? That you may have ducked in the closet, that you may have trying to escape from, that you're just trying not to deal with, or whatever the case may be, to get you past that so you can be that spiritual Israelite woman that the Lord requires you to be. Like Aharon said something very powerful while we was talking before this class. He said, yes, the man, he is the head, right? But the woman is the neck. You're very important as well, right? And without the both of us, right, there is no nation, there is no community, there is no family. So we both got to be striving, right? We both got to be striving in the direction that the Lord requires us, or we're just going through the motions in this truth. And that's the spirit of SOT, that gets you out of going through the motions and being 1% better every day. That's 365%. If you're getting 1% better every single day, right? So let's get into this thing, right? Let's start with that question. I want some sisters to answer that in the chat. What do you think the kryptonite of a woman is? When I say the woman, we're talking about the Black, Latino, and Native American and us scattered abroad, right? Mm-hmm. What is you all's kryptonite for my sisters, right? If some sisters want to put that in the chat. I'm gonna play a video before I let Aharon get into his segment. Sister said money. Okay. Accountability, Kaya said. Money. Accountability. Money's a good one. Her emotions, very good. Very good. All right, very good. But a lot of these things, guess what? Women use these as her superpowers. Woman with money, that's her superpower. Her emotions, meaning how she acts on them, and that so-called masculine energy that she gives off, that's her superpower. Because she's trying to mask that femininity, right? She's trying to mask that with that masculine energy. We're going to get into all of that, right? See a few sisters in here. So let's get into this. That's a good answer, Sister Sabrina. Right? Let's play this video real quick. It's short. This one. All right, hold on. Let me play the fair use too. We got a lot of videos in the back. So let me get the fair use in the chat real quick. Cue that up. There we go. There we go. Fair use, fair use. All these videos are just our thoughts and comments on the content, right? So let's play this.
Black women can be a lot of things. They can be weak. We can be fat. We can be ashy.
Let me run that back for y'all. It's a short, but she's saying a lot of powerful stuff in this 30-second, 15-second clip. But the first thing she said, the black woman, when we say the black woman, we're talking about the Latina, and the Native American woman as well. All of y'all. Y'all can be a lot of things, but you can't be weak. That's what she said. And where does that stem from? Where does that come from? The so-called black woman, Latina woman raising what? That strong black woman, that strong woman. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the men. You're raising a strong woman. And then what happens? The man, who does he get raised by? An effeminate and emotional woman. Mm-hmm. So now you got now the society that we have now is a strong woman and an effeminate man. Right. And what does that create? A YN. Yeah. That's what that creates. A YN. No discipline. No emotional discipline. What does that create? Now we just watched the video, us brothers. She's standing in front of what was it? Planned Parenthood out her on? She's standing in front of Planned Parenthood rapping, telling us how she's gonna abort the baby.
Yeah, no, that whole song is wild.
Now we got some lyrics. I kind of made it big, so we might could look at those lyrics out.
Okay, you could, man.
But look at what she says. Look what our sister says.
Black women can be a lot of things. They can be weak. We can be fat. We can be ashy. We can we can be broke. Okay, we can be a lot of things, but we cannot be weak. That's our kryptonite. We've been taught that our feminine side, our soft side, our vulnerable side, our receptive side, our open side, we've been taught that that's weakness.
That's what our women have been taught. That is weak. You have to be strong. You almost have to be the man in the relationship. But the Bible does not call for that. Give me the scripture, weaker vessel.
And then it's particularly interesting when you go back to that Willie Lynch letter, how it was talking how to break the man, but that's something else that they had for the women. Make them the strength, teach them that they have to be strong to endure at the same time as you make the man physically strong, but emotionally and spiritually weak and inept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then reverse those roles. Go ahead if you got it.
This man said in Louisiana, the kryptonite is a seafood boy. That is true. That is crazy.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Do what?
Dwell with them according to knowledge.
So the husbands have to dwell with women, their women, according to knowledge. Read on.
Giving honor unto the wife.
Come on.
As unto the weaker vessel.
What did the Bible call them?
The weaker vessel.
So the Bible even called you the weaker vessel.
Mm-hmm.
But we look at that weakness. Well, women look at that weakness as, no, I can't show that. I can't show this man my submissive side, my silent side. When the Lord says that's a gift from him. A silent and loving wife is a gift from God. These women in the world, they're wrapped up dynamites, ready to explode from Satan. But the Bible says you are that weaker vessel. Let's keep going.
And it isn't.
And she said, but it isn't. Right, let's go back a little bit.
The side, our open side, we've been taught that that's weakness, and it isn't. What we have to do is take the pants off and learn how to be alpha in our panties.
That was a very good statement. She said you have to learn how to be alpha in your panties. How can you be alpha in panties? You can't. So an alpha woman, really think about it. What's an alpha male? Strong brother, independent brother, taking care of the household, doing the things he needs to do, right? Well, then what is an alpha? What should an alpha woman be? We look at it as the same, independent, she's strong. No. That's a weak woman. The alpha woman is going to be submissive. The alpha woman is going to know how to be silent, loving, caring, open. That is the true alpha woman. But we've been encouraged to think that alpha woman is what, like my brother said, Yatham, dominant.
And you know, our sisters have been duped because, yeah, like you said, they think that them being strong is them trying to have on masculine traits. And I tell you, brothers don't want to go out and fight the world and be in a super competitive environment, fighting against one another, and then come home and have to fight his woman as well. We don't come home to look for masculine attributes in our women. You know, we need order. We need a woman who's going to respect us. At the same time, we respect her and respect ourselves. And just how you said earlier, so if a man is a head and a woman is the neck, women sometimes think that if they're not adopting masculine traits, that they're unimportant or they're not relevant. When I tell you, look, you break a neck, the body will die. You ain't even touched the brain. You break that neck, the body will die. Or, hey, if the person isn't dead, they are severely crippled to where, I mean, the brain sending signals to the body won't even respond to the signals that the brain is doing if you break the neck. You know what I'm saying? So there's power in femininity. It's power in submission. It's power in order, because a woman's emotions really is her superpower. Because a lot of times it allowed her to be compassionate. It allowed her to be empathetic. It allowed her to see love and maintain the love in the situation. And where sometimes we might make a more callous decision that's just based on fact. A woman allow you to consider a side that is nurturing to the whole situation, you know. And I tell you, give me Sirach chapter 25 and verse 1 real quick, because a lot of times when we fighting, it brings disorder. And a lot of times people don't even really disagree, but they so concerned with trying to be right. They put being right over what is right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because our sisters have been duped in thinking that the only way for them to have power, have respect, is by mirroring the ways that a man gets power and respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and see, and that's the problem. And see, and really and we're gonna get into it, but this is so-called Women's History Month,
Mm-hmm.
the month of March, and which kind of was led to us having this lesson. And also, we have a righteous example in our sister Esther, Auntie Esther, as we like to call it, who, I mean, if we could, hypergamy is a thing that, I mean, shoot, who achieved hypergamy more than her? She became wife to to the most powerful man, the richest man in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she got all that prominence, and instead of sitting in that and riding off in the sunset forgetting her people, she sacrificed that for the betterment and the respect of her people. That's a very, very, very righteous example. She put that all on the line for fear of her God and love of her nation. And so, if we're talking about women's history, that's the history that we need to that's the historical figure that we need to follow. How do we come from there? All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
The book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 25, verse 1.
Bring it out.
In three things I was beautified,
Mm-hmm.
and stood up beautiful before God. Amen.
Okay.
The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
It's a beautiful thing when a man and a wife agree together. It's a beautiful thing when the house is in order and the house is intact and it's just flowing righteously. But see, it's hard to do that if they both trying to fulfill the same role. It's hard to agree, or you cannot have two alphas. You just can't. It's only one king of the castle.
That's right.
Period. That's why you think as your young sons start to mature, they had that friction with dad. It's only one king of the castle. The same way on the other side with Eve. It's only one queen of the castle. And they work together in unity, and it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. But if you taking on my traits, baby, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get it. And I gotta be honest, some of that is because of influence.
A lot of it.
Some of it is also due to necessity. Because at the same time, man, those strong character, discipline, and order has to be in the household. And if we're not showing it, sometimes women that felt the need to show it themselves, because they just can't go without. But if you got a man, so if you're single, seek a man that has those nice characteristics and those strong alpha characteristics. But if you have that, fall back and allow that to flourish and feed into that. Okay, let's just say a brother's falling short here or there. Feed into that, pour into that the same way you will pour into any other thing, the same way you will pour into your children. All right, I'm gonna yield right here because it's a lot that's about to come out.
Okay. I just want to play this last thing too. No, not the last thing, but one more thing too. Right? Because I seen a sister, she made a good comment. And that was the next segue too. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, right here. Now y'all read that for me, King.
And it reads, I have learned that my tone of voice when I'm talking changes the outcome of a conversation with my future Lord.
Right, that is very key. Right, very key that you know that about yourself. But a lot of our women are taught to have said tone of voice. Right, when you look at our women into society today, they want to actually fight and go up against men. They want to be loud and stubborn against their husband because these are the traits that are being taught in this society. And look what the Bible says. Give me Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 11.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, beginning at verse 11.
Come on.
She is loud and stubborn.
She's what?
She is loud and stubborn.
And no, I'm not talking of that sister specifically, but I'm speaking of sisters in general. That's what our women are taught, bred to be nowadays. Loud and stubborn. What she said in the song, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got the ring. That's a stubborn individual. Because your job as the woman is to take care of the household. So why are you not cooking and cleaning? Even though he came back and recorded a video of Cardi B actually cleaning the house and sweeping, but what she's putting out there for the women, our younger sisters are eating it up. And that's what they like. So now you have women nowadays. Well, if I go to work, I ain't gonna cook. If I go to work, I ain't gonna clean. So if I go to work, when something breaks in the house, I don't fix it. I'm gonna just leave it there. Right. So the roles are being changed. Go to Proverbs 9 and 13.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 13. A foolish woman, Salaki, a foolish woman is clamorous.
She's what?
She is clamorous.
Go ahead.
She is simple and knoweth nothing.
Right. So the word the key word there is clamorous. Let's get that word real quick. Let's look this word up and get the meaning of clamorous and why a clamorous woman is foolish. Right. Read that on the screen. Nakawasha.
It's the definition of clamorous: making a loud and confused noise.
Right. So that's the clamorous woman. She's loud. She always want to argue. She always want to fight. She always has something to say back. Her only goal in the argument or disagreement is to win.
Right.
That's the foolish, clamorous woman that we have to get our sisters away from, and that spirit off of our women.
So, like, you read the second one.
Expressing or characterized by vehement protests or demands.
That's heavy. Go ahead, Aaron. Break that down.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna share a secret with y'all. You catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. Okay. So the same time for a man, like, when he wants something for his woman or he wants her to feel good or something like that, what is he gonna do? He's gonna try to butter her up. The same way you like reassurance, the same way you like being told that you're beautiful, you like the sweet nothings, you like those little things because it just makes you feel nice and feminine, right? And appreciated by your man. That's the same way that your man feels when you give him reverence, you give him love, you give him respect, and guess what? You're intentional with expressing what you want and showing that love and respect. It's one thing by default, okay, here, but no, when you're intentional, because I tell you, intentions is a thing that no one's talking about in a successful relationship, but being very intentional about the things that we do is how you get it. That's a whole nother conversation. But listen, when you show that man that respect, you're going to more than likely get what you want than to try to argue for what you want, to try to cuss me out and be clamorous and rah. Shoot, butter me up. You know what I'm saying? Make me feel good the same way you want to feel good. And I think that's a lost art. And women also think that they being weak, or they being, you're not gonna tell me something because you're gonna make me feel stupid. But listen, there's no feeling stupid in making your man feel like a king at home. The same way you want to be treated and felt like a queen in your home. Imagine how more compliant or complicit you'll be if a brother came in, and whether he rubbed your feet or told you how beautiful you are, if you like flowers, got you that, or wrote you a little note, or do things that make you just feel like cherished and loved. That same way their brother's going to feel like that if you make him feel respected and appreciated. And you don't have to argue. You don't have to be clamorous. If you do that, that'll go a lot further. All right.
Salaki.
Go ahead, King.
If a brother can get a Sirach 26 and 13.
Before you get that, let me play this video because I'm already here. I'm already at that scripture. Let me play this and then you could break it down. I'm right here with you. Y'all listen good.
Been programmed and conditioned, and we have been programmed and conditioned.
So she starts off by saying the women have been programmed and conditioned.
It's a little low, I don't know.
And raised.
Can you hear it?
Barely.
Oh, you can't hear. I don't know why it's so low. It's the loudest it goes.
All right, try it again.
We have been programmed and conditioned and raised where our feminine power and our presence as females is dishonored, disregarded, disrespected, just in the world, not just by man. And we've also been taught and trained that our softness is inappropriate, it's dangerous. Our emotions are inappropriate, and nobody wants to be bothered with that. So where do we go with that? How do we know? If a woman knew that her greatest power was silence, that's her greatest power, because then she can hear. But we run our mouth all the time.
You see what she said? She said, they run their mouth all the time, and that goes back to the loud and clamorous woman.
Yeah.
Greatest power is silence, because when you silent, you could do what? Listen.
And even to the point that I was just saying, listen, one of the most powerful negotiation tactics is silence. It's often said by some of the best negotiators that whoever speaks first loses. And a lot of times we speak for what we want, but I tell you, I've seen a lot of favorable outcomes go to the person that listens to what the person is really saying and answers that specific thing, and actually gets more than try to argue or listen just to argue or combat every little thing. If people are being way more inclined to give you what you want, if they feel that you respect how they feel and respect their expression and give them the floor to express themselves, then okay, I feel better about this now. Yes, you can have what you're looking for.
That's right. Bring it out, Nakabasha.
I think that a lot of times our sisters they tend to forget the power that they actually have. Hold that Sirach and go to Ezra chapter 4 and start at verse 25. Because when things were compared, wine, women, the truth, the king, which was the strongest. We know that the truth is stronger than anything.
Yep.
But there's a power that a woman has, when she really is walking in this truth, man. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to hear. And these are the things that our sisters should be able to teach the younger generation. But because of the way society has played out, our forefathers, our mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, you know, great grands, you know, a lot of these lessons they didn't have. They were going, you know, based on what they knew. You know, and what they knew, man, it was tearing up our society. You know, you had some who had the grace, and we were talking, you know, before the class came on. You know, when I was younger, they had what do you call it, Captain Aharon? Femininity classes. You know, where you had the older sisters that would teach the youngers how they should walk, you know, how they should bend down and pick up things, you know, when to speak, how to speak. They had these type of classes for the sisters, but you know, society got away from that, you know, because of the women's lib movement, and you know, women that there you go, Soldier Mike, etiquette classes. You know, so it's such an important thing, and we got to be able to look towards the future, because if you have children right now and what we're bringing out, you don't already know and already exhibit, you behind the 8 ball. And the reason why we say that is because look past yourself. We're supposed to be raising a righteous generation. Look at our actions and what we're actually teaching our children. You know, you got a sister. Let's go ahead and read that first Esdras first.
Khan Adawan. This is the book of First Esdras, chapter 4, verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
Keep reading.
Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for woman and become servants for their sakes.
Man, you're not gonna have a man overextending himself to the point where he's near death to take care of a brutish woman. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But that one sister that exemplifies a certain characteristic. Go to the book of Sirach 26 and 13.
Khan Adawan. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband. So that sister being able to know when to speak, to get her point across and how to do it, that's grace. But that grace has to be taught. That daughter had to learn that grace from her mother. But the problem is the mother had no grace. She said what she had no filter. She said whatever came to her mouth. So a lot of our parents, you know, we came from very argumentative homes where the mother and the father cussed each other out all the time. You know, sometimes, you know, they brawling in the house. I mean, a lot of things you got to realize plays a part on the development of your children and in the next generation. Because if I see my mother treating my father a certain way, I'm going to expect that's how a woman is supposed to act. Or if I see my father treating a woman a certain way, that's the way I think that a man is supposed to act. No. And we got to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, Ayana, she said something that was very key, and we're going to get into it. Keep reading on that Sirach.
Khan Adawan. And her continent mind cannot be valued.
Salakia, verse.
That's Salakia. Yeah, 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones.
Khan, so she gotta have discretion.
That's right.
Hey, just having the ability to be silent. That right there, man, you sisters, I don't understand if y'all know the scriptures say many there be that have run out of their wits for women.
Mm-hmm.
You will run a man out of his wits when you are quiet. Because he'll do whatever he has to do to get back in your grace. Why? Because we love our women more than we love our mothers and fathers. That's why we cleave to you. But our women, it's during the rebellion of Israel, there was a curse that was put on our people. Go to the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56.
Look at the definition of discretion. The quality or behaving or speaking in such a way to avoid causing offense or revealing private information, right? But then look at this one. The freedom to decide what should be done in a particular situation. Meaning you also have discernment.
That's right.
Right? You also have discernment, because what Nakawasha said is very key one thing. And I see my sister, she said something in the chat. It's another good comment. She said, I learned from the word of God. My mother didn't teach me. Right? Yes, you got to learn from the word of God, but the importance of classes like this is we need our women teaching the younger women these things.
That's right.
But it's hard to teach said things if you don't do said things, if you don't live that said way. So that's why we do classes like this. Yes, it's to teach the sisters that are in it, that are going through said things, how to be, but also we got to be teaching the younger sister these things. Because if we leave it up to society, we're doomed. We'll be here forever.
That's right.
We'll be here for. That's why the age woman is so important. But I don't see a lot of women trying to step up to that role. Maybe it could be behind. I'm not privy to everything, but I don't see a lot of women shy away from that role. But you're the age woman. I'm not talking about the woman that wants it for the glory of it. I'm talking about the sister that humbly wants to do it because she understands the state and nature of our women in our society that we live in today. And she wants to make a change in that. We need women to step up to that role.
Hey, right? Salakia, real quick. I'm gonna read a precept and say something real quick. A lot of times I think it's because our women, they haven't healed from the traumas and or accepted that, hey, this happened to me. Now, instead of waiting for someone to fix it and make me feel better and address that, in which, okay, I understand that you are a victim to these certain things, so it has an impact on you. But that same energy, instead of sitting waiting for somebody else to fix it, you can stand in the gap and make sure it doesn't happen to your daughter. You can stand in the gap and make sure it doesn't happen to a younger generation. You know what I mean? And a lot of times I think that we don't step in and fulfill our role because we're saying, hey, I'm still hurt too. What about me? You know, but it's important to understand an age woman, yes, is in order of chronology and actual age, but it's also your mindset. Because you might be 25, you might be 35, but it's a 16-year-old looking to you for what to do. It's a 9-year-old looking to you for how to be. And when you understand that, yes, you might still be young, but you are in charge of teaching this baby right. You know, real quick, I'm gonna get the scripture that talks about what you were saying. This is Ezekiel 16:44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is the daughter. So you have a very important role in influencing the younger generation of sister. You understand? It's so important. And when you realize that your daughter will take over your traits, it's a problem. It's a problem if your daughter wants to be more like Beyonce than her mother. It's a problem when your son wants to be like Mike more than you. You know, I yield right there. Let the brother go, because
that's right. And I mean, it's
heavy comments in there. Go ahead.
It's a painful event. You know, when trauma hasn't been dealt with. You know, because now you're unloading all of your trauma onto your husband. And now he's got to start siphoning through all of this garbage to get to the root cause. Man, she going off again. What is the problem? We don't understand it because what? The feminine qualities that should be in there, you now max them because of the hurt that you felt. Now you're protected and guarded, and then you lash out as soon as somebody gets near you. And those are the type of things, man, that destroy our sisters, because our sisters now start to take on a mannish spirit. They take on a masculine spirit. Get that Deuteronomy 28 and 56.
Calm down, Arwan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for her delicateness.
So the tender and the delicate woman that is among you. So our women at one point, they were tender and delicate. Let's look up what the definition of tender and delicate is. And there's a movie, you know, a lot of people, I love older movies. When you look at Coming to America, I love Coming to America. You know, when the king came out, you know, you had the sisters that lined up in front of the car and they was throwing rose petals. Man, they wasn't touching the ground. They touching rose petals. So in the kingdom, hey, my rib, hey, hey, let's go. Rose petals hitting the floor. Her tenderness and her delicateness was important. That was the beauty of a woman. But because of our disobedience, that beauty, man, that beauty is faded. So now we have masculine women. Go ahead, read that definition.
God, this is delicate. It's very fine in texture or structure of intricate workmanship or quality.
Go to the blue letter and pull up tender.
Blue letter and tender.
And this man, our sisters, man, yeah, we got to get back here, man, because you have a role that's more mighty than what you think, more mightier than the way that you act, and it's such a beautiful role, and it fits so perfectly. Read that.
This is tender in the blue letter. Tender, soft, delicate, weak. Or you have tender, delicate, flesh, weak of heart, timid.
Get this one. Look at this one. That soft girl energy, that gentle words. That's heavy, man.
That's right. And that's what it is, man. She's tender. She's tender. She got that soft side. That's her. She is soft. She's not mannish. Now get delicate.
In a blue letter?
Count that one.
Okay. We already here with it. Delicate in a blue letter, dainty, delicate.
Dainty.
Yeah, that's the good word.
Dainty. So when you see the rich move in the sister, she just holds her hand and a man just gracefully, you know, lifts her up. And that's dainty. That's the way our sisters were. But over these years, man, that tender and delicateness has faded away. You've taken on more of a mannish spirit, a challenging spirit. Keep reading that Deuteronomy 28 and 56.
Kind of one. For delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
So she don't want to yield. She don't want to submit. But guess what? When she's raising sons, and that son brings an Israelite sister home, the first thing she's going to look for is what? Submission. She's going to look for how tender and delicate she is. All of the qualities that the mother does not exude.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a hypocritical standpoint. You expect something for your son that you're not willing to work on yourself.
That's right.
But it's a reason why we can't work on it, because our mothers, they didn't have it. Our grandmothers didn't have it. And I'm not sure if you got that video queued up, Adawan.
Which one?
The one with the past trauma that the mother dealt with, and then the children were dealing with.
The one you sent me on TikTok?
It was
the last one. It was the last one. It was longer. It was on Ayana's show, and they were
with the little girl, and her dad was in it.
Adawan.
Oh yeah, that's heavy. They're just gonna open the womb. You want to play? You want to cue that one?
Adawan.
I just had it. Okay, right here.
That's right. That's why a lot of brothers have problems with their in-laws, man, because a lot of people don't understand the concept. They don't understand the concept of submission. You know, even in the Israelite world, you know, where you may have parents that aren't in the truth, and they see the way a wife deals with her own son. She's submissive. She's doing the things, and his parents will come against him because they think that she's being a slave. Why? Because the parents have lost that tender and delicateness.
Yeah,
they've lost the standard of what it means to be an Israelite woman.
And you know and it's so powerful. So submission a lot is put forth like submission is weakness.
Yeah,
you know, but it's not. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, right? And what that means is when we're together, I'm gonna use a fist. When a family is together, when a man and woman agree together, that force is stronger than if you add up the power of the man individually and the female individually. Just like when you make a fist, every last finger has to submit and conform to the formation of the fist. But when you do that, think about the power you can generate from your fist as opposed to try to individually thump something with each finger. It is nowhere near that same thing. So when a woman submits to a man, it's not a weakness. It's to come together and so that we could be a force. The same way if a man does not submit to Yahweh Shai, it's a problem, because you might think it's weak to submit to thus saith the Lord, but no, now we can come together and have the force and have the Lord fight for you. It's the same thing. That's why it's a divine order. All right, go ahead.
Hey, this was a good question by Officer Yazaba. He said, Adewanyum, do you think in some cases they'll use their trauma as a crutch or an excuse to change that behavior? Of course. Matter of fact, their trauma that they've been through is the reason they're acting that way in the first place. Because they haven't got over that, so they project those emotions and feelings on every situation or situations that may be similar to of that which they went through. So that's called projection. Is they put those emotions and feelings on to the things that's happening in their life instead of doing the best thing, which would be going through that healing process. That's the best thing. It's the hardest thing, but it's the best thing for our women to go through. Because guess what? A lot of our women, what we're going to see in this video, have been through things that us men can't explain. Yeah. We don't know why, right? But all we do know is you have to get through the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at something this morning. They say every time you speak on that past event, you give it power. Every time you speak on that past trauma, sis, you give it power because you want someone to understand and feel what you go through. I felt you and heard you the first time. But now, when we going to start to heal together? Matter of fact, when you're going to start to heal by yourself, because we can't heal together unless you want to do that. But that also goes back to what we've been teaching for the longest is those excuses. There's no room anymore for excuses. I say this all the time. If something happened to you that was unfortunate, we can't necessarily go back and fix it. And I'm sorry for that. And I like the scripture say, I miscarry with you as a brother or sister that been through something. However, right, we can't make an excuse because of that, what you went through in the past that determines who you are now. That's not fair.
That's right.
Because how you respond to that, trauma or that past situation that happened a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20, 30 years ago in your life, how you respond is totally up to you.
Right.
That's why I always say how you respond is your fault, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be your fault, good or bad, of how you respond. So it's your job to understand the trauma and then try to get through it. And that may take therapy. It may take therapy. If you have chest pain, you go see who? The cardiologist. You have lung pain, you go see who? The pulmonologist. So sometimes you got to go see a psychiatrist, right? Or somebody that studies psychology to sit down and talk to them and get through those emotions.
That's right.
We got the biblical counsel for you, but you may need someone else, a doctor that specializes in that. But the goal has to be getting through the trauma.
Right.
And recognizing that. Y'all listen to this. Y'all listen to this video, man. This is why the aged woman is so important. Mm-hmm. Right? Our aged woman, I seen a comment, it said they caught up in trying to be the young woman still. We need the aged woman to take her role.
That's right.
I'm sorry, sis. You're 45, 50. You're not 23 no more. Let her have that. Yes, sis, you look beautiful at 45, 50, but she's 23. Let her have that. You got to show her the right way to be at 23, not compete with her at 23, wearing what she wearing, talking how she talk, acting how she. No, we don't need women like that. It's enough in that world. The aged woman in our community is very important. We ain't talking about big mama them. We talking about the aged woman, the Israelite, that's gonna teach a woman how to be a daughter of Sarah, how to be a daughter of Zion, how to be delicate and chaste. What they say now, demure, how to actually be that.
That's right.
How to actually be that, how to walk it and talk it. How is not what 1 Peter 3 said, it's not to get that real quick. 1 Peter 3:1, and then we're gonna play this video.
Count out of one. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Come on.
That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Well, look how the wife wins in her conversation, in her chastity, in her communication is the right word. Read on.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
Come on.
Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair.
See of the plaiting of the hair. We don't need our aged women teaching our young women how to be beautiful. We need the delicate and adequate classes like the brothers was bringing out.
That's right.
How to sit down at the table. You sitting down like a man, your legs. You walk with your feet out. Come on. How to pick up the pen you got your dress on when it dropped. How to shake a brother's hand and not hug him too casually. We need these classes taught because our women in the world are not teaching them this. But guess what? Israelite woman, that's your job. That's your job, sis. To adorn, it's the age woman's job to adorn the inner younger sister.
That's right.
She's gonna get into her beauty. It's inevitable. We have the most beautiful looking people on the planet. She's gonna get into that one way or another, but she needs to adorn that inner being first, so she knows and understands that she doesn't get what she wants just because she's pretty. Because that's what a lot of our women now are getting abused because of that. Getting taken advantage of because how beautiful they are, but they weren't taught any adorning of self. Don't know how to care and love self. This is what needs to be taught to our women. And you're going to see in this video we're about to play how the bickering and fighting of a family, they forgot baby girl. They took their eye off the prize. Because what do we always say? Them brothers, them babies that's being raised in the truth, need a future. But we taking our eye off the prize, got our own problems, can't get along with one another. The babies is being punished, going through things, and you missing it because you got your mind somewhere else. Watch, we're gonna play. I'm enough said. Watch this.
All of you are speaking from hurt. So if they're gonna stop, you have to stop. Right?
And that answers your question, Yaz, about a lot of times our women, even men too, but we're talking about the women. They're speaking from a place of hurt. They're speaking from a place of trauma. And once you push that button, you will automatically know you pushed it, but how she responds is going to be how you can deal with it or not.
Yep.
Right? Y'all are all in the same tribe. She's out in the world. Do you see this pretty little thing here? Y'all need to have your eyes on her. And she needs to know that she can come to you. That somebody will take her and violate her and abuse her. She needs to know that when...
What did y'all notice right there? What just happened? What just happened? Who's paying attention? What just happened?
They missed it at one. You got to run it back.
I got to run it back? They missed it? Okay, let me run it back.
Y'all need to have your eyes on her. And she needs to know that she can come to you. That somebody will take her and violate her and abuse her. She needs to know that when she...
What happened right there? What happened? Who's paying attention to the body language? Rolled their eyes. Lack of confidence in the youth. Hatred. Nope, not yet. The little girl, she's paying attention. They smirked. They all had a revelation. Nope. They looked away. Why did they look away? You got to be paying attention to body language when you're talking to people.
That's right.
Especially when we're on the phone counseling people. What we always say, this person sounds offended. We'll be texting in the back chat. This person sounds
Jeremiah Howard. He got it.
Tone of voice. She probably already was violated. Did you not? Now watch it from that point of view. Look at the body language of these people, of our sisters.
You need to have your eyes on her. And she needs to know that she can come to you. That somebody will take her and violate her and abuse her. She needs to know that when she gets
the body language, she looked down like, oh, she touched the nerve. She said it. And the one sitting on the left,
that somebody will take her and violate her and abuse.
The one sitting on the left here, she gave it away.
She need to know that when she gets...
Both of them, they twins. They both gave it. They did the same exact thing. Now watch how our sister diagnosed it.
It's the what happened? What was that I just saw go through here?
Prior to us coming here, I told all of them that I was molested as a child.
What?
That's her
I
father.
don't want to say I wasn't comfortable telling them.
Oh, heck no.
I wasn't comfortable
You didn't know who you could trust.
What? Oh, champ.
Did you tell your mom?
No.
And I know you didn't tell your dad.
No.
So how
Look
much?
at this,
Why?
though.
Why do you say no?
Right there. Let's stop right there, right? A lot of our women, they're going through that and they're not telling nobody, and they're going through that alone. And our women don't even understand you going through that alone. You've already created a space where if that happens to your daughter or your niece or somebody, they're probably going to go through it alone until they get of a certain age ready to tell someone.
Yep.
Look at this. She didn't tell her mother, she didn't tell her dad, and she didn't even tell her closest, her sisters, cousins.
Yeah. And and unfortunately, there are certain instances in which people do speak out, and then the family gets on the child. The family will. Hey, absolutely. Sometimes they'll say it's your fault. Well, what was you doing to entice this? What was you doing to do that? Man, it's so unfortunate. I know of a sister who she was, preyed upon. She was molested by a member of her family. She told the family, and they was ready to kick her out, and to where she had nowhere to go, and now she has to live with that same person who did that. And everyone knows, and it's like, oh well, so what? And now the wife of that person who did that treats her like a dog, because it said, you got my man's eye. When she was a child and she was getting like the full thing happened to her repeatedly, and she has no one to help her.
That's right. Hey, and listen, not saying something is a response.
Yeah. On everything.
Not saying something is a response, and she's gonna say that too, because I see my sister said this, and a lot of sisters, this is an emotional topic. She said we go through that and don't tell because nobody believes us. That's a fair statement, but you still gotta say something.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Watching that, that father, he reminds me of myself. And almost every man, period, because a man is the protector of his family. He's the protector of his wife, his daughters, his sons, his entire family. That it's in him to be that way. So a woman, you have to be able to express yourself and express these type of traumas to your husband or to your mother or somebody, because if you don't, it's gonna constantly be triggers. A husband and a wife can go to a movie, watch a certain movie, and something in that movie triggers the wife. Now she's coming out with an attitude, or she's crying over a movie that she shouldn't be crying about, and she still becomes guarded. But a man tries to break down those walls, but because she's so guarded, she lashes back at the husband, or she lashes back at the father. You got to be able to have safe places or safe spaces where this can be discussed. And this is why we really wanted to bring this out, because the aged women are so important. A lot of our sisters don't come from Israelite homes. They got to be able to have, that aged woman that they can go to, sis, or they talk to her as mother. I need to talk to you. And she, okay, come on, daughter. And y'all have a private session or talk, or that aged mother may feel it may be too much. Hey, we need to take this to counsel. That's the mentality of an aged woman, man. These are the qualities that our women need to develop. Because stuff like this young sister now, that affection that she should have towards a man as she gets older becomes deteriorated. It becomes hardened. And this is why you have sisters that live this, I'm living my best life. I'm just gonna go and it's okay to have one night stands.
Mm-hmm.
They take dating from the avenue of a worldly man, and it shouldn't be that way, man.
That's right.
The softness, the delicateness of our women are being stolen.
That's right.
Yes.
It's a shame, man.
And
before you say that, Aharon, just for my sisters, you know, you don't have to say what you've been through in this chat, sis. You don't have to do that. We don't actually. I don't want you to do that. Right? This is not. I mean, this is a safe place, but this is not the place where that should come out. Right? But this is a good comment. She says it was our fault. We got molested. Our parents went through the same thing. They were told to suck it up. So our parents did the same thing. No correction. Yes, that does happen. But just because that happens, that doesn't mean you don't say, and that is totally incorrect.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're trying to make the place for it to be corrected, and you have an avenue to speak to individuals. Obviously, you got to be careful who you speak to in general.
That's right.
Right? You don't want people throwing your business out there, all kind of stuff. Right?
That's a mighty precept right there.
Right? But there is, read that scripture.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall.
Mm-hmm.
But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
See, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. That means the counselors, the individuals that you're speaking to, whether it's one or two sisters, or you're on a body, a call with a body, there's a safe space there for you to get those emotions out, to move forward. That is the key. You have to be ready to look yourself in the face, sis, and say, I am ready to do what? Move past that.
Right.
Is that easy? No. It is stuff I still deal with. Simple things from the past that I'm like, oh, wow. I moved past it, but it be plaguing me. And I can see why I can make decisions so quickly, because what I did, how that affected me in the past, I totally know that's why I made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a plus because I know why I'm doing it. A lot of sisters, y'all mask it and say it's because of this thing, but it's really from that thing years and years ago.
Right.
Right.
It's like
we're not trying to open no old wounds.
That's right.
We're not trying to do that. So I don't want you saying what you've been through in the class, because we could have that offline conversation if that needs to be. So try to keep it in general. All right. Go ahead.
And one brother give me Sirach 4 and 30. Because you see in the reaction from the father, and I tell you, it's a sweet spot from both the male figure and the female figure to really create that safe space for your child. Because a lot of times people, they don't tell, because either A, they don't trust that you're going to do something about it, or B, they're afraid or ashamed of how they're going to be looked at. And as you deal with this child and raise this child, you really want to focus and prioritize creating an environment that they feel okay to come to you. You got to encourage that. Yes, be strict, have discipline in the house, have order in the house, but don't overlook the nurturing that you need to do to create this safe environment. Your baby girl should feel like she should come and tell you everything, period. You know why? Because she trusts your intentions. You got to be willing to stand in the gap and say, baby, listen, no matter what it is, you come to me and I'm going to love you first. I'm going to discipline you, but I'm going to love you first. So whatever it is, I got your back. Get that Sirach 4 and 30. And sometimes I know as the father, we so busy focused on being an authoritarian that sometimes we forget to leave that lane open to where your children can come to you for that guidance and that love.
That's right.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 30. Be not as a lion in thy house.
You see, don't be as a lion in your house. Be the head, be the authority, but don't be so. I mean, if you look at how a lion gets down, a lion will bite, will bite the kids if they try to eat before him. A lion comes around and he move furniture. He get everything out the way. There's no compassion. He don't want to hear none of it. You know, and so you don't want to be that way, because a lot of times things go unnoticed because you're prioritizing laying down the law, and a lot of times things go unspoken because of fear of judgment, or they don't feel like they got a safe place. And you see right there when she said, "Why didn't you tell your dad?" She said, "My dad is crazy."
Mm-hmm.
She does not trust his ability to respond in a loving way.
And watch this. She doesn't trust her dad, and this is a hard, because I have a daughter, to respond in a non-emotional way.
That's right.
Because in that sense, every man wants to kill that dude. Now, right now. Hold on, you probably can't say it online.
Right.
Hypothetically, right? But if we respond in an emotional way, we go back to the same street madness. Now you're gonna spend life in jail, and that dude it goes back to the same cycle. So I'm not saying you have to let a person get away with that. That's insane and madness. However, you want to create the space for your daughter, even your son, your nieces, nephews, to have a said conversation with you about it and understand and try to guide them through that.
Mm-hmm.
Because guiding them or showing them, okay, I'm going to go hurt this individual on site now, that also or shows different emotion. Now, when somebody does something to you, you need to punch them in the face now. Now it just so it's such a thin line we have to walk.
That's right.
These conversations have to be had because nobody having them without, especially in the Israelite community, it's not being had that often for our sisters. Go ahead.
And I mean, as a father protective, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Cap. Go ahead, Cap, and then we'll let
as a father and protective, that's why it's so important to have a proactive approach and create a safe environment for your child in which you have a diligent eye. And don't trust people just because they're related to you, or don't trust people just because they're around and you need a break, so you're gonna allow somebody to babysit your children or whatever. Because when you have a proactive approach, you can see things coming and you can see shifts and changes in your children. Baby girl, what's wrong? Why are you acting like this? Why do you get nervous when this person comes around? It seems like you're uncomfortable, you know? And that's being a good shepherd, as opposed to your priorities were other places. And so now this has hit you completely off guard. Now you're ready to kill something. You know, you take that proactive approach and be a good steward and a good shepherd. Same thing for you aged women. Be a good steward over these young women. You'll stop a lot of this. Go ahead.
That's right. Before you say that, to this question too, how do you tell a person so they don't end up in jail? The first thing is you need to heal from it yourself. That'd be the first step, is getting on the path to healing. And then once you feel like you're in a space where you have healed and it doesn't trigger so many emotions, you need to ask yourself, why do you want to tell said individuals? Because you might want to tell them now, because you might not say it out loud, but internally you want them to respond. Because as that little girl or little boy, you needed that response in that moment, and you didn't feel loved because you didn't get a said response. So now as an adult, you have to question your intentions on telling individuals, especially your loved ones now. So I think the best way to tell someone that in a realm is to try to be on a healing process first, so you can come to that person with a whole different mindset of being healed. And I'm telling you this because I'm healed, and something I needed to get off my chest that you didn't know about me. I don't need a response from you. I don't need this. I fixed it internally myself. Right? So you got to get to a space where you're healing or trying to be healed in the best way possible. Go ahead, Doc, then we're gonna play the video.
Yeah, kind of. I was just gonna say, like, to your point, not being that lion in the house, like us men, we gotta remember that, like, when our child, right, loved ones, when they get with somebody else that they love and they get abused by them, they're gonna be even more, private to keep it to themselves, right? Especially if we're not building that foundation of love and being able to show them that they can come to us at anything. If it's a random person and they're not telling you, they're not going to tell you if it's a loved one that's doing it to them, right? If it's their husband, if there's their wife that's abusing them, they definitely not going to come say nothing because they love that person. We want to try to work it out. So, just like Captain Al-Haran was saying, like, truly not being that lion in your home, but that the scripture, you gotta be a lion and in a dove, right? So you gotta be delicate at times as well, us as men.
Excellent point. So let's see how this plays out from the little sister. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Oh, heck no. Hell no.
You didn't know who you could trust.
What? Oh, champ.
Did you tell your mom?
No.
And I know you didn't tell your dad.
No.
So how long? Why? Why do you say no?
My dad crazy. Like, crazy.
Oh, hell no, champ.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You tell me that somebody sexually violated you. How old were you?
I want to say 7 or 8.
And you remember?
Yes.
Was it repetitive or just one time?
It was more than once.
So you've been carrying that all of these years and never speak it because your dad is crazy? Do you know how damn crazy that sounds to me?
See, and a lot of people don't look at it that way. Because someone is crazy or someone may hurt them, that you're just gonna carry it wherever. And that's the response that you have, is just being silent. And if you stay silent, it'll be almost impossible to heal from it, right? Because you need to get those emotions out. You need to cry about it. You need to talk about it, right? You need someone to cope with you.
That you, the child, carrying that level of burden? No. That's the kind of stuff that makes you angry. Because the adults didn't have their stuff together. You were subjected to what you were subjected to.
And that's the point we're getting at right now.
Bingo.
Because our adult women don't have their stuff together, and men, right? But we're talking about the sisters. We subject our younger women, and a lot of people saying this in the chat, that young women don't want to be taught. That is a fair statement. That don't mean you stop teaching them.
That's right.
My little cousin don't want to hear nothing I got to say. Matter of fact, he grown and got it figured it out. But every time we talk, I make sure I throw a gem in there, something. I make sure I try to say, and whether he want to hear it or not, I might start. Hey, you might not want to hear this, but I gotta say this, right? Because if not, we're not doing our job as leaders in our community. This stuff like this has to stop. And then harboring the emotions, we got to get our women past that.
That's right.
We have to, we got to iron that out of our women. Or it's going to be tough for our women to teach a younger woman. They'll teach them from their past and not from the Bible. All right, let's just finish this last little bit out.
And this is the pattern starting all over again.
And that's what happens. The pattern starts all over again. Now, if she's going to grow up concerned about herself and she didn't tell nobody, and you're going to, your eye could possibly be blind to your own daughter or niece. And then the same thing, and the cycle goes on and on. And we got a dead cycle. But the way the dead cycle is the age woman example.
That's right.
And being there. Right? But the age woman has to know how to be that woman. And that's the part of this class as well. Right? Let's get the scripture with the age woman. Because our woman is taught, go to Isaiah 3 real quick. Our woman is taught this. What a word where it says stretch forth neck.
Mm-hmm.
Get that part of it. verse 16.
Count out of one.
Bring it out now.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty
See the daughters,
and walk.
they proud as hell. Now, they are proud.
Count out of one.
And they think that's the good quality of trait. That's not a good trait. I understand confidence, but our women are proud. If we pour those lyrics up our heart, right, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Read on.
And walk with stretched forth necks.
And do what?
And wanting eyes. And walk with stretched forth necks.
Go ahead.
And wanting eyes.
And wanton eyes, man. Now that stretched forth neck and them wanton, you focus on the wrong thing. Your focus is the ones up under you. What did Sirach say about the when the man dies? Don't what it said? Now we gotta get it. Don't judge a man before he dies. It's just like you gotta look at his kids. His kids will be how he's known. Paraphrasing. If somebody could get that. It's the same thing with the woman. That's how I thought he said. The little girl that you leave behind is going to be the example of you. Get Sirach 30 and 6. It's the same thing for the sisters.
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 6. He left behind him an avenger.
Come on.
Against his enemies. One that shall requite kindness to his friends. He that maketh too much.
That's close, but that's not it. That's close. Verse 4. 4. Time. Yeah, he said start at 4. 4.
Though his father died, yet he This is the book of Sirach chapter 30, verse 4. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not. For he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
Same thing. Another one, Sirach 11:28. That's another one. But the aged woman, that's your job. Not to leave her with the hurt and the pain that's left over from you. Right? That you haven't healed from. So when she grows, she's not going to be able to heal either. Because she hasn't been taught any coping mechanisms.
Yes.
So this look what I don't want to say. Hold on. I don't want to tell you not a good comment. We all have a role to play. The aged woman is critical in this thing, man. Do you know what we about to send our daughters into this world to?
Right.
Listen. I don't know about y'all. But at 13, in my friend group, people was having sex already.
That's right.
13, bro. That's what we're about to send our children into the world to. People now is going on dates. A date at 9. 9. You're calling it a date.
Oh.
I was asked by my uncles, did I have a girlfriend at 6?
Hey, Salaki, they got them little baby proms. They got proms for kids like in preschool, to where like you actually have a prom date and y'all go together and to this prom and take pictures, etc. I know like a little. He was either 2 or 3 and went on this and had a date, and they thought it was so cute that he's in his suit and she's in her dress, and they went together to have this. Like, you are wow, but we think of how do we get here? How do we get here?
Bring it out, Rob.
I think a lot of it has to do with like the women's liberation movement or the feminist movement. When you think about it, because in general it happened like in 4 basic waves, right? And we know that the first wave have more so to do with like voting and women being able to buy property, etc. But as it pertains to the Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you know, our first wave was books like Ain't I a Woman by Sojourner Truth, by what's the woman name? Javita Idar.
We trying to be serious. I can't even put the Adawan in timeout. Adawan was putting brothers. I can't even put Adawan in timeout. Yo, keep going, Adawan.
No, but when we like Javita Idar, Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, these women were talking about, hey, I'm a woman too, so we need to be treated with dignity, not just like as a dog, because already we was treated as minorities, as dogs, but like as these Edomites were looking for their feminism to be treated, I guess, equal, they was treating our sisters terrible. So that's the first wave feminism. Okay, not that bad, whatever. You know what I mean? We should be respected. But that second wave feminism, I'll tell you, it did a number on our people. So like Betty Friedan, Gloria Steinem, Angela Davis, because during that second wave feminism is where you got sexual liberation. They started talking about sexual liberation, and a big part of that was abortion. Do you know that abortion, the technology of abortion, was one of the biggest changes in society today? Because prior to that, women had to be very cautious and had to practice a lot of discretion with who they dealt with sexually, with who they dealt with, you know, I guess sexually, because there were big consequences. You could get pregnant, you know, and then if you get pregnant, shoot, you'll get sent away, you know. But now, because we got things like the abortion pills and promoting, you know, promiscuity, now women could do these things without the consequence. Now you can go out there and be a hoe in America and then pop Plan B pills like you pop Skittles, you know, and there's no problem. You can have 3 or 4 abortions, you know, and a lot of times that glorious, what'd you say?
I said when they stopped the abortions, you know, because Trump put the law out, right? It was people at my job saying, I'm about to buy as many Plan Bs off Amazon as I can. Before, instead of just stop having the sexual intercourse and try to marry the dude, not dudes, women. I'm going to buy as many Plan Bs as I can.
Yeah.
On the black market. And I don't want to say he's serious. I know you serious for that comment because you made me think of a point. I think my homeboy graduation, and our homegirl mom, she was there. She had just got a BBL. She couldn't even sit down at the dinner table. She had to stand up and eat while everybody else ate. And I'm thinking now, look, she don't even know. She probably do know. Her daughter was getting like, but you still caught up on getting a BBL and competing with your daughter. Daughter's like top tier in high school, right? You competing almost with her. She needs you at home mentally. It don't make me smoke like it. So I know you real. I know you serious. I don't, because I experienced it firsthand. She could not sit down to eat. She had to stand up. And I'm looking like, why she got to stand up? She tried to sit on a pillow, it didn't work. Not she just got the BBL. Tubes, drains, it don't make no sense, man. Go ahead.
You know, and to your point, that's so crazy because one of the pillars of the second wave of feminism is like saying, hey, women are more than the domestic housewives. Women are more than keepers at home. They said that there was no fulfillment with keeping a house. So, but they wanted to be liberated. They wanted to go to work and have sexual liberation and be free to be who they are and discover themselves. But at the same time, so that caused women to prioritize being sexy over being that righteous example. And you got to wonder, why is it so important for a woman? Why you want to be sexy so bad? You want to be known for being hot. You want to be known for being physically attractive, you know, instead of having that natural glow. And that's a wrong thing. Give me the book of Judith, chapter 10 and 19.
Get out.
You know, because when you accompany righteousness with your beauty, man, that's when you're the most influential. That's when you look the best, and you are a better example for us as a nation, you know. And so during I'm just talking about these ways of feminism. For y'all who may not be familiar, this is good things to look up and understand how and why we got this way, right? And so during that 60s and 70s, that second wave of abortion, that's where we got that second wave of feminism, that's where we got back to sexual liberation, LGBT stuff, and abortion. And then when it came for that third wave, it was real bad as well, you know, because then now that they said, hey, let me be who I am, that gender fluidity, etc. And these are the things that heavily influenced the policies, heavily influenced the a lot of the people that are put up to be our leaders today, you know. And it was an organized effort against us. So for instance, like a lot of times we put up the Black Panther Party and we like that, and we talk about Angela Davis. Well, Angela Davis, bro, she was promoting LGBTQ stuff, you know, and the ability for a woman to, you know, sexually deal with who she wants and then abort the baby at will. And that's how you notice today how the alphabet movement has hijacked the Black movement, has hijacked the Latino movement. Now it's all about the alphabetical people and the protections that they get. And some of the people who helped usher that in, again, Gloria Steinem, Angela Davis, Betty Friedan too, but she was more so against that, you know. And they allowed and promoted that women should allow to feel sexual pleasure and gratification in themselves, right? And that's a problem. Give me wait, I just called for some
Judith 10:19.
Yeah, give me Judith, and then we're gonna go to 1 Timothy 5 and 6.
Count out of one. This is the book of Judith, chapter 10, beginning at verse 19. And they wondered at her beauty and admired the children of Israel because of her.
You see, so not only was this woman beautiful, but we're talking about Judith. There's another righteous example that women should read and understand. And during Women's History Month, look at the example of Judith. Not only was she beautiful, but she carried herself in a righteous way.
That's right.
And how did the other nations respond to her? Read that again.
Everyone said to his neighbor, who would despise this people that have among them such women?
You see that? The other nations, just because she was such a righteous, beautiful example, they said, oh my God. They had respect unto the children of Israel. And it says, my goodness, they got women like this, they got people like this. And so when you lead with something other than your beauty, when you lead with your dignity, when you lead with your poise, it's much more powerful than leading with your BBL. Or leading with your pleasure, or leading with your sexuality. Because if you look at a lot of, obviously the relationships are under a microscope right now. So a common question that comes up was, what do you bring to the table? You know? And a lot of times with Eve, she'll just be like, you know, my presence. I bring, you know, feel good stuff, you know, food, etc. But it sometimes it can be shallow. And when you lead with your sex, sex is only so much of a relationship.
Yeah.
So let's just say you burn it down. Y'all burn it down, have a great time, whatever. After that's over, now what do you do? Now what do we focus on? After that's over, now what foundations are you building? What examples are you sharing to your children? Because obviously they're not a part of that experience. They have no idea of what's going on. So now what do you show once that's over, right? Give me that first 1 Timothy 5 and 6, and then we'll probably get Romans 8 and 6 too.
Yeah.
Count out of one. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
You see that? If you live in pleasure, you are dead while you live. Give me that Ephesians 2:1, Romans 8:6, and Proverbs 21:16. You know, and because a lot of times you focus on the wrong thing. You know, you focus on the wrong thing, and that's why Yahweh said, "Listen, these words I give you, their spirit and they are life, because you choosing how to live." But when all you focus on is pleasure and feeling good, a lot of times you're doing that to cover up your trauma. You're doing that because it's a hard thing to deal with that trauma. You see us just bringing it up. A lot of it was uncovering some wounds. You know, and we make big mistakes doing that, right? So give me that in Ephesians real quick.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, and verse 1.
Yes.
Verse 1. Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, by the will of God, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful.
You in that Ephesians 2:1?
Oh, somebody. 2. You look at Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1. And you have he quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world.
So you see, you could be dead in your trespasses and in your sin. Yeah, you're alive, but you're spiritually dead, you know? And that's a problem, because these children, these babies, they need life spoken into them. They need nurture given to them. Because you got to decide at a certain point, you got to make a decision that the buck stops with you. You got to make a decision to say, all the curses, okay, I'm a product of them, but my children are not going to experience that. You got to be willing to stand in the gap, because you a lot of times will be dead in your sin and you don't realize that. Give me Romans 8:6.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death.
You see that? To be carnally minded is death. And a lot of times we don't think on the things that is spiritual. And a lot of times in the world, you know, they're definitely not thinking on things that is spiritual. They thinking about a bag. They're thinking about a come up. You know, and that's a problem, Eve. And I tell you, it's one thing you'll notice when a person is traumatized, whether they Eve or Jake, they'll look for pleasure, they'll look to be entertained, they'll look for anything to just pacify that feeling instead of doing the hard work. You know, and so that's why Eve, instead of this, she'll get drunk, she'll get, you know, high, she'll go on them girls trips and go be a whore around her friends. You know, she'll do anything to mask the pain that she's doing. But see, that carnal mind is death. And then when you tell her something, she don't want to deal with it. Give me that Proverbs 15:10 too after this. Go ahead.
I get it.
Matter of fact, yeah, get Romans. I mean, where we was just at I believe we was at Romans. And give me Proverbs chapter 21:16 after that, before that one. But finish that out.
All right, count on one. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
See, it's life and peace. That peace is knowing that you in the Lord. That peace is dealing with your trauma. That peace is knowing that it's people who got your best interest in mind. It's peace in knowing that your children or the people that you have stayed over are not going to experience those traumas. It's peace in that. To be spiritually minded. It's peace in knowing that can't nobody knock you off your square.
That's right.
No matter what happens, you're going to stand firm in your convictions. And although you may, you know, have a difficult time, and although it might be some trying, but you got a family and a body that's going to have your best interest in mind and going to keep you lifted up spiritually. It's peace in that, right? Okay. That's the end of that, right?
Count on one.
Give me Proverbs 21, start at 16.
Well, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 16. The man that wanders out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
And see, and that's so heavy because, like you say, misery loves company. And I'm gonna tell you, Eve, that's why y'all be going on them girls trips a lot of times. You being in that congregation of the dead. That's why you having them galentines. That's why you having all these things when you allowing your friends who are also hurt and dealing with trauma being I'll say promiscuous out here. Y'all sitting and feeding each other's ego because you're remaining in the congregation of the dead. I mean, for y'all who travel, think about how crazy and wild women get when they on them girls trip, accidentally engaging in homosexual activities with each other, wake up like it never happened because they were just drunk. Think about how free Eve will let her friend touch on her and do things, or how crazy nasty Eve will dance on her friend. Brother won't even get a two-step in, but she over here twerking, got her whole box and on her friend's forehead. You understand? Because they in a congregation of the dead, living in pleasure, instead of being that righteous example. Go ahead, finish that out.
Verse 17, he that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man.
Now you see, not only just financially, but also spiritually poor. And sis, hey, if you constantly just seeking pleasure, man, you are spiritually poor out here. When you are rich, you valued among rubies. You're a man's greatest possession.
That's right.
But when you are living in pleasure only, you poor out here, and it's a problem, right? Go ahead.
He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich.
If you love to turn up too much, if you love fun, if you just loving a good time just to pass the time and mask it, if you spend more time in the club than in the gym, if you spend more time at the lounge than in therapy, you're not going to be rich. You may got some money going through, but you ain't going to be rich emotionally, spiritually, right? Keep going.
The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous.
You see? And the righteous, you're going to make the righteous go off.
Mm-hmm.
Especially brothers. I mean, because think about it. Eve be fine out here. We know this, okay? So it's brothers who trying to be righteous, who honestly looking for a companion, looking for a righteous woman, and he'll go off on that. Matter of fact, after this, cue up Proverbs 6:26. All right, finish that out. We're gonna finish at 19.
And the transgressor for the upright.
Mm-hmm.
It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman.
Listen, and this woman, she's angry and contentious because she's not taking accountability and dealing with her own traumas, but she's just living in pleasure, trying to go from feel good to feel good. And that's a hedonist.
Mm-hmm.
A hedonist is someone who's only motivated by pleasure and what feels good. And honestly, you're gonna lose that way, right? Go ahead, Proverbs 6:26.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, beginning at verse 26. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
Listen, a lot of times, a whorish woman, you're a strong man who's looking for righteousness, who actually might be looking for a good woman, he brought to a piece of bread. He brought to nothing. Something to be consumed, something worth nothing. Going after a whorish woman. Because it's natural for a brother to want to look and want to see, dang, baby got lumps over there. But when you leading with your lumps instead of leading with your mind and leading with your spirit, leading with your righteousness, it'll make Jake go off, man. And like you said, these older women, they don't understand when it's time to hang it up. Stop trying to be a sexy 45-year-old. That's a problem. Be a righteous woman. And not 45 is too old or nothing like that. But stop. You need to know when it's time to fulfill and really step in your role of being that righteous older sister, to these women, man. And It's a problem. I'm gonna yield right there. I know we got some more videos and stuff, but
you want to play a video? I got one more video of a
play it.
young. You want to play a video?
Play yours.
Okay. All right, let's play this last. I think this is the last one. There's two more, but we'll start with this one. We had 5 points going on.
Y'all know I'm from Compton, so.
All right, here we go.
Power of sacrifice and surrender.
Okay.
It's low.
Back in 2013, I interviewed you when I worked with Madame Noir.
Okay.
And we had, a viral moment. We talked about Black women and boundaries. And you said we were out of order.
We're still out of order.
I'm like, you're not even going to.
And a lot of our sisters, especially Latina and Black women, they don't see that we're completely out of order. Watch this. Hold on. I'll tell me if this ain't out of order. Where is that? What part out? Right there. Okay, watch this. Now look at this. Excuse the language. We're not going to play the word. We're just going to look at this part. We're just going to look at this right here. Now I'm going to read this because I'll filter that. It says, this is a song, popular song, right? Look, I forgot the plan B. Ain't no N-word cuffing me. You can't put me on a shelf, B. I'm outside with the team. All these B's having babies, but that ain't finna be me. Now that's very interesting that it's just such idiotic statements in a song that got millions of views, right? And the reason I say it again.
No, go up to the hook. Right before she said, "I got murder on my mind," because this is the girl that's working in front of the plan B. Yeah, that part.
So basically, that means I ain't got a in baby coming out of me. We ain't even gonna read all of that. B, I got murder on my mind. What she's implying is that she wants to have an abortion. Or not, she's will have an abortion. And her and the women in this video, let's get this off the screen. This is just pure madness. Her and the women in the video are basically twerking, right, at the Planned. What is it? What was it? What they was twerking at?
At Planned Parenthood.
At Planned Parenthood, right? Making a joke and a scandal out of this. But our women today will say our women are not out of order. But that's our women, though. A lot of them feel that way. Glorilla says she thinks every woman should have at least 4 boyfriends. Let me find that quote. Let me find that quote. Y'all say something real quick.
Yeah, hey, it's interesting that we don't even have leaders anymore. We just have influencers.
Yep.
You know, that influence crazy business, crazy nasty business. Like how Cardi B says, listen, what she said, I don't cook, I don't clean, I got that ring. Lying because she was obviously cleaning, you know, and she was obviously doing all that thing, but she understood the influence that she had, and it was her job to influence y'all to not cook and clean and be completely out of order.
These are the women that the young sisters are following. Y'all know that, right? I think every woman should be entitled to 4 N-words a piece, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So that means you got a main dude, you got the side dude for the pleasure, you got the dude with the money. What the other one do? I don't even know. When you travel with, I don't know. But that's why we saying in the fake Jews promote that madness to pollute our beautiful daughters. Now you can't check a woman on what she's wearing. You can't. What do they say? They're expressing themselves sexually.
Right.
That means that when a man comes to you on how you express yourself, that man is going to come to you and want sex.
Yep. That's that second and third wave.
Yep. You shouldn't. What do they call the hollering? He shouldn't catcall me because what I have on. Well, why? If you're trying to express yourself in a sexual manner, he's gonna catcall you. Well, they're gonna catcall me anyway. Well, the woman that's from a man's point of view, tell you as the man, and I'm not gonna take the dress out of it. The woman that has the business casual clothes on, I'm coming at her different than the one that has the crop top, stomach out, and short shorts on. It's two different conversations.
Right.
Two different conversations. With the woman with the business casual, you might think of what to say. Let me plan this one. I might plan this one. Like I've been holding this one back. I got a line for her. You try you. I'm gonna try you. And it may not go. It may not go, but the point is the way the man perceives you got to be clever, right? The way the man perceives what you have on is how he's going to come at you, because men are visual. But the most important thing we're getting at here is what? Our older women got to be able to teach something, because our women here aren't teaching nothing.
That's right.
It was crazy.
They're literally saying abort these women. Abort these children, I mean. Abort them. Throw them to the side. Go have fun. Go have as much sexual intercourse that you want, and don't care about the responsibility that comes with it. Matter of fact, it don't even matter who you're doing it with. The rappers, the entertainers, the ball players, the sports players. It don't matter. The vloggers, the YouTube, it don't just go out, live it up, sis. Then now sis got 10 bodies and don't understand. Now you don't know how to keep a man because you've had 10 different experiences with men. You had 12 different experiences with men. But that's what our society pushes. Just do you, sis. Granted, the dudes ain't no better out there. But we on that, we talk about that all day. Our best topic is cutting the YN. Oh my God, why does that even exist? Why does that spirit exist? But our women got to be taught these things.
Yeah.
Slow y'all.
Go ahead, King.
I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Psalms chapter 127 and verse 3. Right, to Iwan's point, literally we have songs propagating our women to go ahead and delete their children, right, before they can have a chance to even, live on this earth. That's the thing that's popular now, right? Just going out, wilding out, getting a whole bunch of plan Bs, making sure you can go out and be like Haran was saying, be sexually liberated. You can do whatever you want, but they're missing the goal. They're missing the reward of the Most High God, right? This is verse 3, Psalms 127. Lo, children are an heritage of Yahweh.
Yep.
And the fruit of the womb is his reward. Like, that is what Yahweh has for you. That's what he has for you. Our sisters, our queens, our princesses. That's what he has established for you. Only you can do that. Only you could bring life onto this plane. That's a power that Yahweh has given you to be able to do that. So for you to not think, I'm going to just use this and just cast it aside, it's like you're really casting aside a gift that the Most High has given you.
That's right. Think about it. Back then, it was frowned upon. Like, if you couldn't have a baby, like, girl, that's like almost like, why you weren't pregnant yet?
Right.
Like, to the point where Sarah was Hagar. Just you need a baby, like, because I can't have a baby yet. Now it's the hell with having a baby. Shit, I need that. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the sister still said, what? Our women are still out of order. Let's play it again. Our women are still out of order.
Let me set up the case. We talked about Black women and boundaries, and you said we were out of order.
We're still out of order.
I'm like, you're not even gonna let me set up the question. Well, tell me, you said if we understood what we were, we would not let other people define us and confine us, and that you said we're demeaned, diminished, demoralized in ways we accommodate. Tell us why you say we're still out of order.
I think now because we get paid to be out of order now.
That was a dagger. We get paid to be. That's what the other one said. The other one said it. The Jewish man, other one. The Jewish man is paying us now to be completely buck wild and out of order.
That's right.
I ain't never seen so many female rappers now. And it's like it's the new one every single year. You had the Nicki Minaj, the Megan Thee Stallion, the Cardi B, the Glorilla, the Young Miamis, what's the City Girls, all of that. It's like every summer, it's a new girl coming out.
It's like they feel like they successfully got Jake, so now they moving on to Eve.
That's right.
Because they didn't move Jake out the house, so the only way they can get the children is let's get Eve and she'll get the children.
That's right. Watch what she said. She said they're paying us to be out of order.
Demeaned, diminished, demoralized in ways we accommodate. Tell us why you say we're still out of order.
I think now because we get paid to be out of order now.
Okay.
Look, her face is like whatever, like, but it's true. It is absolutely true.
You know, some of the images that we allowed to be portrayed of us, some of the ways that we behave and treat each other publicly.
Yeah.
And we've made a lot of progress. I want to look at the sweet spots also. I mean, we've got a woman of color in the White House.
Yeah.
We've got women of color in Congress, everywhere. I think on the personal level, down on the ground, we still need to do some work. And I don't blame us.
Mm-hmm.
I just say that the way we've been conditioned and programmed and educated doesn't afford us the ability to really tap into and live fully who we are.
And that's very key, right? Because we're being conditioned every single day to be away. Every day you scroll on social media, there's an argument, black woman versus black man. Every day you're hearing it all the time, and it's trying to condition you how to be away instead of dealing with your trauma and your past and moving forward and being that. The Israelite way is the only way, man.
Right.
That is it. Every other way is leading you down the toilet hole, down the drain. But I wanted to play that part where she said we're being paid to be out of order now. And it's even worse for the sisters. Some sisters don't even need to be paid to be out of order. They just want to be out of order. They like twerking. It's the meme now. What do you expect a black woman to do when she get mad? Twerk. When she happy, twerk. When she's sad, twerk. When she having fun, twerk. That's it. It's like a meme. That's what even after when they killed the brother in Georgia, they was twerking in front of the police.
Right. Protesting by twerking on them.
Because we have been conditioned this way to not understand who we are as a people. And when you take that from somebody, we're constantly trying to find an identity. And that's what we're talking about with the older women. Is the sister's job is so important in the household as far as teaching the children the identity of their children, who they are. And not molding them from their past traumas and mistakes. Not molding them, my mom was this way, so I ain't gonna be. You're teaching them from negativity, not positive. What you gonna do now about it? My mom wasn't this, or my dad wasn't this, so I'm gonna teach them against that. Yes, but then how? How are you gonna do that thing? Right? So there needs to be a plan at hand, and the plan starts with the laws of God.
Right.
Because it said something about the aged woman. Go to that scripture real quick. Let's read about it real quick. Let's get that. Is it 1 Timothy 2:11 or the Titus 2:11? I always get those two mixed up. Bring it out if you got it. Titus, he said. Bring that out. 2 and 11. Start at 3.
Count out one. This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as become holiness.
That's number one. They gotta be in, for you to be accounted as that aged woman, whether you're tenured in the truth or in age, literally, you gotta have good behavior. You have to have a good rapport amongst the congregation.
Right.
Not a biter or a busybody. Read on.
Not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things,
that
they may teach the young woman to be sober.
What? So that's
that they may teach.
Go ahead. That they may what?
That they may teach the young woman to be sober.
So they have to then, after they show holiness, not false accusers, not a drunk woman, you're constantly teaching good things. Is now your job to teach the young woman said qualities. That becomes your job. See, trying to keep up with the young woman is the wrong idea our older women have. They're trying to keep up and be like, no, we need you to show them who and how and what to be according to the scriptures. When it talks about being sober-minded, clear thoughts. You don't run to the weed or to the alcohol. Read on.
To love their husbands.
Who's teaching these lessons? Because remember, the class is called A Woman's Kryptonite. She said it on the class, a woman's kryptonite is her silence. Read on.
To love their children.
Read.
To be discreet. Chaste.
Who's breaking down and going to the etymology as the sisters and breaking these words down and understanding the origin of these words and then practicing and then being that in body. Read on.
Chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed.
Going into the cracks and figuring out what these things mean as an Israelite woman of God. Because like Aharon said, the head is important. The man, yes, but you need the neck to do his job as well. All parts have to be played, but the aged woman, where's the accountability there? And that's why we did this lesson, because we did the boys to men. The father need to be there. The men got to step up. The men got to do this. Women, you too. And it's going to start right there in the home. Recognizing, hey, I got to get past my traumas, my trials that I've been through from the past. How do I walk in this new woman as the Israelite sister? And then stamping that in the household. Right? Your household represents you now. Then stepping into that role in the congregation. I exemplify that in my congregation, the Pillars of Rest. Right? And now you're being that age. Now that's you're taking on. I don't want to say that you gotta take on the role as a captain. That's who you are. You gotta take on the role as an officer. That's who you have to be. That's just not something you do. You have to take on the role as a soldier. That's not just who you are when I call you and you con out on me. That's who you are every day at work, at home. That's who you are now. Same thing with the Israelite woman. That's who you are. Stop faking this thing and just be that woman. If not, it's worse for you.
Right.
It's worse for you if you don't. Right. So I'm gonna let Aharon go into his segment because we're getting close to the time, right?
No, it's cool. Look, we on the up because these videos is more talking down. We on the up. Y'all get the point. I get the point, but just real quick, I just want to show because hey, there are righteous examples of women
Bring it out.
that played a part in the body, and you got to understand that it's not just a man's job to lead and work on himself and refine himself to lead, but you have a job too, sis, and you play a very important part. Give me Acts 9:36, and then we're gonna start at Romans 16:1, just to show how much of an important role that righteous women play in our body, and that's why we need you, right? Remember, because this is for Women's History Month. We took a second to look at how and why we fell so far, looking at the different ways of the feminist movement, but also we need to show that we got righteous examples of women that if we look in our history, these are the women that you want to be like: Esther, Judith, etc. And a few women we about to read about right now. Give me that Acts 9:36.
Count out of one. Now go ahead, Ken.
This book of Acts chapter 9, verse 36. And now there were at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did.
So you see, this woman, she was a disciple. She had good works and alms deeds. She put in work for the church. She was a leader to the women. She played an important role in the body. So don't think that you don't have also a place to in this body of Yasha Allah. Don't think that you don't have an important role. Okay, give me that over in Romans chapter 16, and let's start at verse 1.
Look it out.
This book of Romans
Count out of one.
Yeah. I commend
This the book
unto you our sister, which is a servant of the church, which is at Centuria.
So you see, we're talking about Sister Phoebe. She was regarded to as a sister, the same way our brothers in arms were referred to as the brothers. She's a sister. And she's an active member in her church. She's not just a bystander. She's not just someone who puts on a dress and comes around because what else they're going to do. But she's looking to put her brick in and be the change that she wants to see in her people. Right? Go ahead.
That ye receive her in the Lord as becoming saints.
Yeah.
And that ye assist her in whatsoever business she hath need of you.
See, look, just like the pillars of rest, while we shout out our pillars of rest, she got business to handle. She's got business. And her business is not talking about other people's business. She's doing the work of the Lord. And you see her say, hey, listen, for this sister doing this work, assist her in what she has to do. Our pillars of rest, man, they play a very important role in this organization. And you guys do some great work. That's why we always, shouting them out. Sister, you got a role to play in this body, okay? You got business to tend to. Go ahead.
For she hath been a succorer of many, and of myself also.
She had been a helper of many and myself also. Paul said, hey, man, she was a great help to me as well. You play an essential role. Keep going.
Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Christ Jesus.
Two more sisters that are part of the body helping the ministry go forward. You got a role to play, sis. Keep going.
Who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles.
So Paul said, listen, these women, they put their life on the line. They really went hard. And not only do I give thanks, but all these churches over here give thanks to them because they played an important role and they understood the influence and the position that they had in the church. And they took it seriously. And they didn't, because they didn't put pleasure above duty. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 5, likewise, greet the church that is in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Salute my well-beloved KRYPTONITE, who is the first fruits of Achaia unto Christ.
So you see, listen, they was holding the church in their home. That's what they were able to do. Wherever brick they could put in, that's what they put in, and you got a role to play, right? Keep going, because we just want to show out. These are righteous examples. It's not just a one-off situation. Women played a part, just like you supposed to play a part today. Go ahead.
Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us.
Mary was putting in work. You understand? And I mean, it's a few more, but you get the point. I'm just showing you that, hey, y'all got a very important part to play, and we love you, sisters, and we need you in this thing. And these young sisters need you in this thing.
That's right. It's that generation to come out. Y'all job is to, obviously it's to both parents to raise the children, but for the most part, the mother will be home with the children more than that father. It's your job to start instilling that, especially in the baby girls. Right. Especially in the baby girls, having those, you got to be willing to open up, because we played a video of the family at odds with each other and not even understanding that their younger sister or sibling, right, is getting, abused, right in front, right under their nose, while they trying to they bickering and fighting. So the aged woman, that role is very important, man, and our women got to ask themselves when they're gonna step into that role.
Yeah.
Right. Not saying you're trying to overthrow the man, and nothing weird. I'm talking about the righteous way. Right. Are you gonna step into that role, and you're gonna be really, trying to build your younger sisters up so they can have a solid foundation as they go forward, right? And also you healing from your traumas in your past and examining yourself so you don't be reprobate as well. All right. So that's the lesson. Oh, you got precept? Do it.
Yeah, real quick. Proverbs 6:20.
Bring it up.
This is talking about not only in your home, but also in your body spiritually. Because if you look, hey, we within the church, it's like a spirit. You have a spiritual father, the same way that Paul was a spiritual father to Timothy. We are our spiritual family right here, right? And there are mothers of the church, just like they're like the men of the church are like your fathers and your uncles, right? Keep going. Give me that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 20. My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother.
See, mother, you got a role to play to say, this is how you behave. This is how you don't behave. You lay down the law too. It's so important. You have an active role to play, right? Next verse.
Verse 21. Bind them continually upon thine heart and tie them about thy neck.
Both the commandment from your father and that law from your mother, working in conjunction to one another to make you a solid person and a solid human being. And that, like I said, that's both within your house, but also in the body.
That's right.
So women, come in this thing, man, and put your hand to the plow with us.
Right, all praise. Couldn't have said it better. All right. Hey, that's the class, man. A woman's kryptonite, man. Bar4Bar, another episode of the Bar4Bar, a woman's kryptonite, man. Go back, watch it, add on to it for my sisters. And be that woman, right? Be that woman that Sirach 26 calls you to be. Be that woman that Proverbs 31 calls you to be. When you read the Bible, it says, he that findeth a wife, right? But granted, she was already a wife. That means she had to be made a wife. That means she was being taught wife attributes at home. She was already a wife. We got to be raising more wives in this community or in this nation and less baby mamas and baby daddies, man. Right? And that goes a long way for our sisters, man. It goes a long way for our sisters. Right? Also, before I get y'all make sure y'all in the building, man. Make sure you in the building. 7:45, man. Can they see that? They can't even see it. 7:45. I'm gonna say it again. 7:45. The IDC grand opening featuring Roy the Chef with giveaways. Right. Hit the check sign if you're gonna be
Eastern
there.
Standard Time, by the way, 7:45 Eastern.
Eastern Standard, correct. Eastern Standard Time. Right. Let me put it in the chat one more time. One more time for the brothers and sisters. Make sure you tapped in, man. So we got the Bar4Bar. Our whole ending of the week be fire. They start with the C4N, then the Friday class by the other one. Then you got the Bar4Bar. Then you got camp, and now we overtiming at 7:45, man. It's gonna continue. The brotherhood and sisterhood gonna continue, man. We overdoing that, man. We overdoing the brotherhood and sisterhood because there's not enough of that in this nation, man. Right? The scriptures say you got to be preferring one another. Right. So that's what we do over here, man. We prefer the people, we prefer one another. Also, don't forget, right? The Passover is coming up. You should have all your ducks in a row. You should understand how you get in there. You should have your flight book, the Airbnb, or your friends you stand with. All of that should be right lined up. Right. April 11th at even, right? Emerald green and gold. 2025 AD Passover with SOT. Make sure you in attendance starting at around 7:45. Right? You'll get the address when you get the RSVP, right? When you do your RSVP. Right? Also, don't forget this Thursday evening, the beginning of our month starts the new moon. Right? The beginning of the month is the new moon. That'll be March 28th, 7:45 sharp. Right, if you want to attend that, make sure you RSVP for that as well. And we'll be turned up for that, celebrating our new year, not Esau's new year, in the dead of the winter, January 1st, right? Y'all brothers got any other announcements? Did I miss anything? Let me see. Oh, if you want to become a Pillars of Rest too, and learn how to be that age woman that we discussed, make sure you join the Pillars of Rest, right? You can send an email to pillarsofrest@gmail.com. Right, the Pillars of Rest do great things. They got a lot of events going on as far as this Passover and other feast days that we keep throughout the year. So make sure, if you want to become that and understand what it means to be that, send an email to pillarsofrest@gmail.com. Right. Also, if you want to become a brother and help do this work and put your hand to the plow in the organization, make sure you send an email to SOTisraelites@gmail.com. If you want to join our rigorous prospect phase, and you want to be a leader and a teacher in your community and in your city, right? As you grow in the prospect phase, soldier, officer, and then captain, right? And just one more time, man, for the IDC, man. One more time, man. If y'all haven't checked out the commercial, what y'all?
I hope y'all like that. That was Supplication by Roy the Chef. It's dangerous out here. I hope you guys make it home safe.
Yo, check it out. You ain't worry about that. Yo, what was that about? Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand, man. Don't worry about it. You would not understand. Why we teach brotherhood is the fight. Don't worry about it. You won't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it. It's okay. All right. So also we got a new member too. I did see we had a new member. Shout out to our new member. All right. Let me pull this off the screen real quick. Let me pull this off the screen. Shout out to our new member. right? In pursuit of the truth, in the pursuit of truth. Shout out to our new member, all praises. If you want to become a member, you just go to the YouTube top right corner. It says join, right? And you become a member, right? You get different perks as far as the channel, right? And you're tenured as a member, you know, the perks can continue to increase, right? So you can look forward to that in the pursuit of truth, right? So with that, hey, we are the Sons of Thunder Israelite. It is our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that it might be saved. I'm Captain Yaquab.
Captain Haran.
So it's Kanak.
He on mute. That's Soldier Nayal.
Soldier Nayal, Salakia.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yo. Yeah. Say what's real.
My father figure keep me guided, I'm always protected. Not a single wrong, I don't ever get corrected. Light over my shoulders, tales from a priest. Take a Psalms 23 and sit your tail to a seat. Legendary in a way, but nothing like a tall tale. False gods set them up, they all fell. Fantasies, they all sell. Nothing in my time can compare to the timeless. The light behind my rhyme and the one who I get in line with. Ain't no other lane for this fire flame minister. Descended from a higher plane, ain't no higher name from the one. When a gun jam, I figure you know now. Divine power follow me, that's just how it be. I can testify for sure, my heart not pure, but still I get to see a day that I did not work for. Bodies dropping with the climate, gas raising on black faces. Still I'm the one who made it. I just be thinking when I roll, something keep watching me. Something keep watching me. The Most High. Something keep watching me. Something keep watching me. I feel like everywhere I go, something keep watching me. Something keep watching me. The Most High. With my conscience, I acknowledge that there is a higher power. Look at me. False idols never promise victory. You survive cause you was meant to. Stop the guessing, you a prized possession. Blessing from the sky, ain't no higher lesson. I'm a messenger, you should get with this rhythm. Gospel, you ain't gotta be poor with chains no more. Flip up your master plate, don't be captivated by your master space. The earth is yours, but first the one we know gon' have to pass away. Destiny, you part of a higher design. They tell me the sight of his eyes like fire and wine. Coming at the wild child who made it through the birth canal. One shot, amazing how you missed the kiss of death. Life was in your step, people turned away from out this way, never coming back. Slipped and fell inside the cracks, landed on their back, but you 10 toes in the field, still in one piece, for real from the bottom, where all kind of brothers get easily killed. Rest in peace to them. You part of a higher design. They tell me the sight of his eyes like fire and wine. When I roll, something keep watching me. Something keep watching me. The Most High. Something keep watching me. Something keep watching me. I feel like everywhere I roll, something keep watching me. Something keep watching me. Most High. I said something keep watching me. Something keep watching me.